There we go. Thanks for coming back, especially because you haven't really done too many of these. Why they put on the freaking test if you're going to practice it? That's okay. You can. You can do this. Synthetic division. We can do this. And then just factoring again. After you do synthetic division, we got this. Here all day. For you. Let's see here. So the factor they give us is x minus 2. So they give us one factor. Find the other two factors. Why 2, Newbold? Well, that's an x cubed. So that means there should be 3 factors because it's x cubed. Cool. So instead of using a positive 2, we're going to set it equal to 0. And instead of using a negative 2, we're going to use a positive 2. Awesome. So we bring the 2 over here. Do upside down house, synthetic division. Bring down your 1, your 7, your negative 4, your negative 28. Any placeholders? 3, 2, 1, 0. Nope, we're good. So here's synthetic division. Do you remember? So first step, a lot of people miss this first step, is you just bring down the 1. Then you multiply, combine, multiply, combine. So 2 times 1 is 2. 2 and 7 is 9. 2 times 9 is 18. 18 minus 4 is 14. And then 2 times 14 is 28. Now if we did this right, because it is a factor, right? Yes, it is a factor. We should get a remainder of, that's right, 0. Remainder is 0. It is a factor. So now we need to take the 1, the 9, and the 14 and turn it back into an equation that we can factor. So we're going to do 1 power less. You guys remember that? 1 power less? So 1 power less. So instead of x cubed, we're going to be using a squared. So this is going to be 1x squared, and then plus 9. Bring down the 9. Just x to the first power. And then no more x's. Just bring down the 14. Cool. So that's synthetic division. That's our answer. But what they want us to do is find the other 2 factors, the other 2 remaining factors. So you just need to factor this more. So x and x. So we're looking for factors of 14. Factors of 14 is 2 and 7. So 2 and 7 make 14, so both plus. And then 2x and 7x is 9x. 2x, we did it. That's it. So those are the other 2 factors. X plus 2 and x plus 7 is our answer for this problem. Because look, we have x minus 2 given, and then we found x plus 2 and x plus 7. So you try number 17 on your own. Try number 17 using synthetic division. Using synthetic division, I'm going to pause. Do it first, then I'll show you my answers. So for time's sake, because I think you're kind of getting this, when you do synthetic division, we'll bust it out real quick. Oh, again, a positive 2, huh? So when you do positive 2, good. So when you do a positive 2 with synthetic division, you got to bring down the 2. Negative 5, negative 4, 12. Bring down the 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 with the negative 5 is a negative 1. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. And then 4 negative and 2 negative is negative 6. And then 2 times negative 6 is negative 12. Yeah! So that worked because, yes, it is a factor, because they gave you one of the factors, so it should work. And then we go ahead and do 1 power less. So not 2x cubed, no, 2x squared. Minus x minus 6. And then you're going to go ahead and factor this more to get the remaining factors. So 2x factors into 2x, or 2x squared factors into 2x times x, right? 2 times 1 is 2. X squared factors into x and x. And then 2 factors into 2 times 1. Cool. And then negative 6 factors into 2 and 3. And so with some thinking, if we put a 3 here and a 2 here, guess and check. And so that would give us a 4, good, a negative 4, and a positive 3, which gives us negative 1. So those are our answers there. So those are the other 2 factors, 2x plus 3 and x minus 2. Beautiful. Okay, so then this one you'll see on the test where you have your factors. And so which one of these are factors? And so write yes or no to which one and show how you know that. So all you have to do for these ones is just plug it into the equation. First set it equal to 0. So this one we're going to use a negative 1. So we plug it in. Negative 1 cubed plus negative 1 squared minus 9 times negative 1 minus 9. And so we get negative 1, negative 1, negative 1 is a negative 1. Negative 1 squared is a positive 1. Those will cancel out. Negative times negative is a positive 9 minus 9. Cancel each other out as well. 0. That means that, yes, this one is a factor because we did plug in negative 1 and we got 0. When we plugged it in, that means no remainder. It is a factor. You could do synthetic division, but just plugging in the numbers even faster. What about if we plugged in a positive 1? So if we plugged a positive 1, 1 cubed and 1 squared, that's just 1 plus 1. And then negative 9, that would be negative 18. That is not going to work because that will not be 0. That'll be like negative 16, right? When you plug it in to the original equation, you'll get negative 16, which doesn't equal 0. So that one doesn't work. What about, let's try a negative 3. So we're going to minus 3. Don't forget to use the opposite symbol there. So minus 3 to both sides. So we're going to plug in a negative 3 there. Excellent. I think at this point you can use the calculator. Let's double check. So with calculator. Cool. So we can use a calculator on these just to make sure we don't make any mistakes, which would be good to not make mistakes. So let's see here. So we're going to do a negative 3. Make sure you put in parentheses, else it's not going to work. To the caret symbol, third power, right arrow. Plus another parenthesis, negative 3, all squared. And then we have our minus 9, again, times, ouchie, negative 3. Because that's the ouchie negative, right, Gavin? Because when you touch it, it draws blood. Oh, my finger. Ah. That's it. Okay, so then you have negative 3 and then just minus 9. And so that gives us 0. That means, yes, it is a factor. Because we get 0 when we plug it in. So using the calculator, I plugged it in and I got 0 when I plugged all of these into my calculator. Cool, so we could do the next thing with our calculator by pushing second enter. And so pushing second enter, everywhere I see negative 3 that I plugged in, I could just change it to a positive 9. What? No way. Yes way. And the reason why we're doing a positive 9 into our calculator there is because you set this guy equal to 0 and 9 to both sides, so x equals 9. So we're plugging that into our calculator, positive 9, to see if it works. Positive 9. That's it. Bam! Go to error. Suck. It doesn't like the positives. Oh, come on. Why not? Dumb calculator. I like to be positive, don't you? There we go. Okay, so hopefully we get rid of those positives at work. It does. 720 is huge. So when we plug it into our calculator, I get 720, which does not equal 0. So no, not a factor. So yes, no, yes, no. Awesome. We are nearly there. We are now on the last page, finally, of our practice test. Whoa. Wait, number 19. Where'd 19 go? Oh, there it is. Don't forget 19. Especially because we did not do this anywhere. I had an assignment for you, but stinking group was like, no, just carry on. I'm like, okay, fine. So they're like, just do it on the practice test once. Good luck. Do it on the test once. Yeah, you're kind of getting it? Just end behavior, right? End behavior. Be right there after this problem. Yeah. Okay, so number 19, it is a factor. Oh, it tells you it is a factor. So if it is a factor, what should the remainder be? If it is a factor, remainder equals 0. Cool. So that means if you plug this sucker in, then you should also get what? You should set equals 0 because it is a factor. It should equal 0. So these way, you could do synthetic division if you wanted to and work your way backwards. But I think plugging in is so much easier. So we're going to do x minus 4 equals 0. Add 4 to both sides. And so x equals 4. We're going to go ahead and plug it in there and there and there. So we get 4 cubed plus 4 squared minus 4 minus a. And then we set equal to 0 because, yes, it is a factor, so that should equal 0 when you're done. Right? Just like we've been doing on that last problem. So 4 times 4 is 16 times 4 is 64. 4 squared is 16 times 4 again is 64. And then we minus 4 and minus a equals 0. So 64 and 64 is 128. 128. And then let's see here. So minus 4 is going to be 124. So 124 minus a equals 0. So we're going to go ahead and minus the 124 over to the other side. And now we're solving for a. So that means that we want to just divide by a negative 1. And that'll get rid of our negatives. So a is just equal to 124. And if you do synthetic division, that'll work. A should be 124. Beautiful. So our last video, we'll be going over synthetic and long division, and then you're all done, ready for the test. Good job. See you on the next video in a second. Peace out.